For the second year, we went to Seldovia to collect e-waste. They did much better this year than previous year. We collected about 250 pounds total from them. Seldovia was really helpful in planning the logistics for our trip over there. We were able to meet them at the top of the ramp, and they were all ready to go when we showed up with our landing craft to collect their e-waste. Our contacts in Seldovia were with the village tribe, Tracy and Michael, and we learned something this time, that maybe we should come back later in the summer when more of the seasonal residents are there and able to collect their e-waste for us. We went to Port Graham also for the second year. My contact there was Violet Eaton. She is the environmental program manager for the village. And this year we got about the same amount as last year, over 200 pounds. We also went with Mako's landing craft and docked there by the cannery, where we were able to meet them and had the chief, Pat Norman, bring out the electronics in a tote with a forklift down to the beach. And they actually took more initiative this year with getting the word out with their own program and their own flyers about town. Our last stop of the day was in Nanwalek, and for the second year, they were our biggest producer out of all the villages. The logistics in Nanwalek were very interesting. In that case, we drove the landing craft right up onto the beach and met a pickup full of electronics. In Nanwalek, I worked with Tim Green and Priscilla Evans on the collection effort. They were very helpful and definitely were really good at getting the e-waste out of Nanwalek. This was my first year organizing the electronics recycling event, and I definitely learned a lot about logistics. So far it seems that we've been pretty busy during times, but there's also slow times. I can see the need of many, many volunteers and the value that all of their work has on this effort. I'm not sure how many pounds we've collected this year. I do believe we will have crossed the 100,000 pound threshold since the event first started in Homer, and I'm really looking forward to finding out how many pounds we brought in this event.
TV over here. That's a TV, huh?
This is actually a template for other communities. What's done by the community here far surpasses what other communities are trying to do. Homer actually is ahead of everybody else. This is a whole community that cares about their environment and their neighborhood.
Oh, Bob, can you take the printer off?
Total Reclaim, you know, we're here for two reasons. One, to keep the environment as clean as possible. Two, is to do the right thing for everybody involved, and not just for the people that are living today. It's for our future generations that we really care about.
I've been saving it all year long, waiting for Electronics Recycle Day again.
As a computer technology support business, we pick up a lot of extra equipment that nobody wants anymore, and a lot of it has harmful chemicals in it, like mercury and some other heavy metals. So it's important that we dispose of it properly so that the environment doesn't suffer from us disposing of our stuff.
Well, I think it's really important to recycle electronics for more than one reason. One is that they shouldn't go in the landfill because of the toxic materials that are inside of these electronics, and the landfill doesn't need to be taken up with large stuff like this. So I'm really happy that stuff is being recycled. So much of what's in here, like gold and all that stuff, we shouldn't be mining out of the ground anyway. We've got enough, we could just mine this and get our materials back.
Recycling is probably the most important thing to do in the community, because it takes all of this stuff out of the dump.
Cook Inletkeeper has been interested in expanding this program throughout the watershed, and that's part of why we chose to go across the bay to the villages of Seldovia, Port Graham, and Nanwalek last year and this year. We hope to try to enable other communities to join in this effort, and part of my work this next year will be to talk to other groups on the peninsula and in the watershed that are doing similar efforts and find ways to collaborate and increase capacity for this type of recycling on the peninsula.